In this episode, we deal with the same shape, a square, but a different side length. To mix it up, Zoe and Gisele are going to choose a different starting height and explore how that changes their graph.
Create a graph that relates the distance traveled by the point A to the height of the point as it travels counterclockwise around the square with a side length of 7 meters.
Okay. Can you move it to the
same
left again? Thank you. So, let's do the same. Thing, height. Sorry for my scribbling here. Okay, so if we set this at 0 again.
Do you want us to do it in the same exact way as the last problem?
It's up to you.
I think we should do it different then.
Okay.
Instead, for this one, we'll set this line as 0 as 0.0. And so since it's 10 all around,
Nope, 7.
7 all around. So we'll start at 0 so we won't go to the negative.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
So then A just starts at 3.5. Right?
Yeah.
Did I do that? Yeah.
This is at 3.5. And then this is and then 3.5.
That's it.
It's just because we got right there. And it's like,
Yes. No.
Yeah, same thing. Would you guys be able to walk me through? Maybe Zoe this time walk me through this graph?
So this time we set the 0 line at the very, like the bottom segment of the square.
Okay.
So we just wouldn't have to graph it into the negatives. So from this segment from 0 to 7, we were saying, wait a second, we have to start at 3.5.
okay.
Okay, so we have to fix our graph, but basically since point A starts at 0, 3.5, we would just have to move the start of the graph to 0, 3.5 since A is starting in the middle of that segment. And that means this has to change too. But essentially, while Giselle's fixing the graph, as the point moves up the right-hand segment, it's increasing in height while traveling the same amount of distance. And then at the very top segment, it's not changing in height, it's just changing in distance. So that's why this segment is constant. And then as it moves down the left segment, the height is changing, but it's not going negative, it's just like subtracting 7 since we set the bottom line as 0. And then the last segment is constant at 0 for another 7. So we just need a fifth segment up to 3.5.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then our distance.
So we just add 3.
Right?
Yeah, just add 3.5.
Let me erase this real quick.
But then really this is 7. This would be 17.5, right? Because you're not traveling 7. You know what I'm saying?
You're traveling 3.5 and
Mhm.
oh no, the graph is ruined.
Yeah. There we go. We fixed it. So it's the same concept for the graph, we just had to shift it a little bit. to account for the fact that A starts in the middle of the segment.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Very nice. Okay, so this is a little bit different than the initial graph that you guys had. Could you walk me through again the change that you guys made?
So for this one, we changed it because our original graph didn't account for this right here. This is 3.5. So we had our original initial starting point at 0, 0, when it should be at a height of 0, 3.5 because we're starting halfway up. And so here we started at 3.5, and then the only difference that we made for the rest of the points is we had to account for this 3.5 going up and this 3.5 when you come back around this way. This is the only difference we made. And so our scale goes out at 3.5, and then it adds the 7, another 7, a 7, and then a last 3.5, so we had to add another fifth segment.
Very good. Zoe, could you coordinate your graph with where the point would be on the square?
Yeah, so starting here, actually, I'm going to color code. So this segment is this. And then
I don't know what that's about.
anyway,
I think we can see it. How do you feel about that color coding, Gisele?
I like it.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Is that how you were seeing it?
Yeah, that's how I saw it too. It's easier to tell that it's color coordinated than me explaining that it goes to this.
We had a new starting height. Before exploring the difference between our two graphs, how do you feel about the color coding? Zoe and Gisele came up with a way to coordinate segments of their graph with segments of their shape.